I'd like to open the June the 9th meeting of the Paducah Planning Commission and URCDA. We'd like to start off, if you would join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Benberry.
Here.
Commissioner Griffin.
Here.
Commissioner Kaler.
Here.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Here.
Chairman Wade.
Here. All right, our first order of business is the election of a vice chairperson. Do I hear any motions or nominations for that position?
I nominate Joe Benberry.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Is there a motion to accept that by acclamation?
I'll make that motion.
Moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Kaler.
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Yes.
Chairman Wade.
Yes. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. All right. We have a motion from Commissioner Griffith on the minutes from the April 7th meeting.
I move that the reading of the minutes for April 14th, 2025 be waived and that the minutes of said meeting as prepared by staff be approved as written.
Second.
Moved and second. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the minutes that you've read?
None.
Hearing none, Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Kaler.
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry.
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. We have no URCDA petitions. We have no continued positions for the Paducah Planning Commission. We do have a new petition for the Planning Commission that regarding a zoning change at 1005 Park Avenue. And Mr. Summers, would you like to start us off with a report on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a rezoning request from R3 medium density residential to B3 general business zone. The lot itself is located on the eastern end of the block, and the western half is zoned B3 general business. This particular lot is next to a B3 zone going east. And you can tell by the map on the second page, it is surrounded by brick buildings, commercial buildings, some industrial buildings all the way around it, some of which are in the residential zone at this time and some in the commercial zone. The property is proposed to be utilized for a private storage building for the catering business on the opposite end of the block at 1049 Park Avenue. The storage building is proposed to be 1,500 square feet, although it may be smaller than that with some of the discussions that we've had. And as mentioned, the site does touch B3 zoning on the east. Therefore, it's an expansion of the zone and not spot zoning. The site contains approximately 10,293 square feet. The R3 medium density zone is inappropriate for this lot. Park Avenue is a major arterial forming the southern boundary of the site. Therefore, traffic and vehicular noise could potentially be problematic for any type of residential structure to be located there. Traffic counts were 4,567 vehicles a day in 2022. The future land use map shows this parcel to be neighborhood conservation. However, staff's recommendation is indeed B3. Therefore, it's not in conformance with the comprehensive plan. And whenever that happens, this body must find additional findings of fact in accordance with KRS 100.213. The existing zoning classification is inappropriate for the following reasons. The lot shape is not conducive to residential development as there is virtually no alley access. Park Avenue generates traffic and noise, which is not conducive to residential development. Traffic counts are 4,567 vehicles a day in 2022. Commercial and industrial uses are located directly east and southeast of this site. The western half of the block is Zone B3, General Business Zone, and a nonconforming metal building is located northwest of the site, which is a testament to the mixed-use nature of how the area developed. When viewed in light of downtown as a whole, there have been changes of an economic, physical, or social nature. The Holiday Inn was constructed in 2016. The Trout General Store was constructed in 2015. And the Respite, which is mixed use, was constructed in 2008. Further, as you all are aware, a new Aloft Hotel is anticipated on the north side of North Loop Road at 519 North 3rd Street. And these will all be major economic and physical changes. For the reasons stated above, KRS 100.213 A and B are met. This area of Paducah is transitional in nature. The area west of the site contains the catering business along with some low-density residential uses, and east of the site is more brick buildings, industrial buildings, metal, and that character style neighborhood runs all the way to 6th Street to the east. So when we was discussing this potential site with the petitioners, we have agreed to some performance standards that would help to enhance the site, which would make it more palatable between the transition point between residential and the more commercial area. And they are as follows. The new building will have at least a partial brick facade on the south side of the building, and that's the side that faces Park Avenue. At least 2 new trees will be planted in the front yard, and landscaping will be provided along the north 10th side of the building. The site plan is enclosed in your packets of where it's roughly to be laid out. And additionally, it was agreed that the property would be restricted to not allow automotive uses such as gasoline stations, car washes, automotive repair, seasonal fireworks tents, dry cleaning, or medical cannabis dispensaries. However, other B3 uses such as retail, restaurant, bank, office, and similar uses could be approved with a new or modified site plan. And those restrictions would be locked in place by a certificate of land use restriction, which would be recorded at the McCracken County Courthouse. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would be glad to answer any questions that you all may have, and also the petitioners are with us tonight as well to answer any questions as well.
We'll start off with Commissioner Griffith has the motion for this zoning change.
This is going to be a minute.
I know, I'm sorry.
I move that this commission recommend approval to the Board of Commissioners and adopt a resolution recommending approval thereof of the requested map amendment from R3 medium density residential to B3 general business zone for property located at 1005 Park Avenue. I further move that this commission adopt the following findings of fact in support of said recommendation. The existing R3 zone is appropriate for this lot. The size and shape of the lot is not conducive for residential land use. Major changes of an economic, physical, or social nature have occurred in the area. The Holiday Inn, Trout General Store, the Respite were all constructed since the last comprehensive plan was adopted. Park Avenue, a major arterial artery, forms the southern boundary of the site. The site is adjacent to the B3 zone on the eastern edge, therefore spot zoning is negated. The site is intended to provide support services to the existing catering business located on the western end of the same block. The requirements to change the zone classification as outlined in KRS 100.213A and B have been met. Park Avenue generates traffic and noise which is not conducive to residential development. The traffic counts were 4,567 vehicles a day in 2022. Commercial and industrial uses are located directly east and southeast of this site. The western half of the block is zoned B3, General Business Zone. A non-conforming metal building is located northwest of the site, a testament to the mixed-use nature of how this area developed. This is a transitional area of the city of Paducah with primarily residential areas to the west of the site and commercial and industrial to the east of the site. The petitioner has agreed to the following requirements, which is to benefit of the neighborhood while considering the proximity of the catering business. The new building will have at least a partial brick facade on the south and the east sides of the building. At least 2 trees will be planted in the front yard. The house to the west will be screened off the new building by a fence. The petitioner has further agreed that no automotive, dry cleaning, firework tents, or medical cannabis dispensaries shall be permitted on the lot. Future land uses may include restaurant, retail, office, bank, and the like with an approved new or modified site plan.
Thank you. It's a mouthful. All right, that's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. It being a zoning change, this does require a public hearing. And I believe, Commissioner Benberry, you have a motion to open that public hearing.
I move that this commission open the public hearing for case zone 2025-002 pertaining to 1005 Park Avenue.
Second.
There's a second. Moved and seconded. All right, Mr. Summers, would you call the roll on that item?
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Griffin,
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. We are now in public hearing. As we start that, would like to invite all who have comments before this commission to come forward. I would like to hopefully you have signed up and put your name in the box here. This applies not only to this item, but the next item that we're going to do. If you haven't signed up to speak, please come up and put your name in the box, sign up and put that slip in the box. I would ask that you all silence your cell phones. There will be a time limit set for comments. Generally, that time limit is 3 minutes. If several attendees wish to make the same comment on the same topic, then I may require you to have a representative to come speak on that particular item and for that larger group that you might represent. We ask that speakers maintain a respectful and decorum when addressing this commission, and that when you come up to the podium, that once you're there, you state your name and your address for the record. And that doesn't matter if you're a city resident or not. We still would like to identify you. And we would ask that any comments you make are about the item that is in front of us at the moment. With that said, is there anybody who wishes to make a comment for this particular item, this zoning change? All right, hearing none. Commissioner Rhodes, would you read a motion to close the public hearing?
I move this commission close the public hearing for case zone 2025-0002 pertaining to 1005 Park Avenue.
All right.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Summers, will you call the roll on that item?
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Griffin,
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. All right, now we have the motion in front of us for the zoning change. Does the commission have any questions or comments that they would like to make?
Mr. Chairman, one point that I'd like to point out, Commissioner Griffin, I believe I heard you say that the existing R3 zone is appropriate, and it should be inappropriate as on the motion.
Okay.
In the voluminous,
I
Motion that he
lost
read?
it in there somewhere, yes.
that would be item number 1 of his comments?
Yes.
That the R3 zone is inappropriate. Okay. I don't see that we need to take any action for that small typo error. This way. Back to the commission. Any questions, comments before we vote? Hearing none. Mr. Summers, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Griffin,
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. All right, our next item of business will actually be 2 things on the same item. We will first hold a hearing and a public hearing. We'll have a motion, a public hearing for the Planning Commission to address the Southside redevelopment plan. Then after that, we will go into a URCDA hearing for the very same purposes. Hopefully, you will ask all, or make all your comments prior to that. And we'll do it all at one time and make it nice and tidy. So with that said, Mr. Summers, would you like to start us off on the Southside redevelopment plan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight is just for the purpose of gathering comments. There will be no official action tonight. Here in a moment, when I turn it back to you, staff will make a few comments, answer any questions from the commissioners, and then we will begin the public hearing.
All right then, so is it appropriate then to read that motion at this time?
Absolutely.
All right, Commissioner Griffith, I'm going to call on you again, much smaller motion this time.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I move the URCDA to incorporate by reference.
No,
Yeah.
Nope,
I believe the first motion is going to be the motion by the Planning and Zoning Commission to open the public hearing.
Well,
That's
but-
me.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that me?
well, she has it to open, but won't we need the general motion for the item? Or we're not acting on that, are we?
We're going to take that in the URCDA.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All right, then, before we get into that, a motion then, or do we need to
We
have
have a motion to
staff
open the Planning and Zoning hearing.
prior to the staff
Yes.
discussing? All right, Commissioner Kaler has that motion then.
I move that the Paducah Planning Commission open the public hearing for the Southside redevelopment plan.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
By the roll that Mr. Summers
Are we
is going to
roll
call?
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Griffin,
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. All right, we are now in public hearing. Staff is going to start off, as I understand. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe at this time we will begin with Mr. Stroop, who will be speaking on the south side.
Good evening, Commissioners. It's good to see you all again. It's been a little minute since we've been in front of you in regards to our South Side plan. That plan being this document right here that you all have a copy. I've also brought a stack of copies for those who are here to attend and like to speak for public comment. I have copies of it here up at the podium. I'm also going to have a few copies out front if you'd like to pick those up as well. To briefly recap, this Southside Revitalization Plan is to identify a program area, this specifically intended for blighted housing in a portion of the South Side. The plan is to outline the strategies to improve and stabilize these housing conditions in this program area. It outlines the steps to benefit the residents within the area and to keep residents in place. And it has a couple different steps throughout it. But since you've first been given this draft, there's been no further changes to it. That's why we're here tonight, to hear input from everybody in attendance as well. So we have some public comment cards I've seen people handing off. If you would like to speak for the public hearing process, is to fill out this form here. We have copies out here on the front, and I'm going to pass this one along back to you, Josh. But these public comment cards need to be filled out with your name and basic information, and that way you'll be called forward to speak in regards to the hearing. Are there questions before we continue?
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Palmer, could you speak to the notice?
Yes, I've noticed a couple people having a copy of the notice themselves. So previous to this meeting, in terms of rolling out this plan, this draft version, it was first posted to the City of Paducah's website for public consumption, but in regards to this specific meeting here, there were mail notices sent out to every address within the program area. That's about 1,061 parcels within the first program phase, and that went to the current resident, but also additionally the owner, if those two things are different, such as a rental as well. So these were all sent out by mail through our department for this complete list of addresses.
Okay. With that, I guess we'll begin the public inputs.
I have one more for you, Josh,
Oh.
that was left over here.
Pass those to the chair.
I know of no order that these are in. We will have a timekeeper of Mr. Summers keeping approximately 3 minutes for any, so that we can move along and everyone has a chance to speak. We are not taking any action tonight, but we are gathering your input. This is your chance to voice your input. This is not the opportunity for you to ask questions. If you do wish to ask a question, we may or may not be able to answer it, but it will count against your 3 minutes. But we would advise you to avail yourself of the various experts who are here to answer those questions. I think that's all that I have on my list. First one up, Mike Muscarella.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Chairman Wade, for allowing me to be here, and it's great to see you.
Excuse me, would you, before you get started, for the record, would you state your name? That way it can be recorded.
Yes.
And your address.
My name is Mike Muscarella. I live at 72 Martin Circle in the Jonquil Lawn neighborhood of the city. And Chairman Wade, Commissioner Benberry, Commissioner Griffin, and Commissioner Kaler and Commissioner Rhodes. I am part of the Southside Steering Committee that, since it began a couple of years ago, and have been actively involved in the Southside through the healthcare standpoint. I'm one of the executive directors at Baptist Health Paducah and work with our community health needs assessment. And we have focused on this area because of the needs for health improvement in this area, specifically cardiovascular disease as well. But housing is healthcare. And I'm here to let you know that through our community health needs assessment, we have focused on this neighborhood with we have done 5 health fairs over the last 4 years, with the 6th health fair with the partnership of Alpha Phi Alpha, the fraternity. The brothers and the hospitals work together with community partners to promote free health screenings in the region. But I'm here to emphasize that throughout my experience with the city and the Southside Steering Committee, the city has done a quality job in being very sensitive to the needs of this community and has worked hard to get involvement of the neighbors of the community to focus on helping legacy residents within the community and also to help bring new people into the community to live. And with the Paducah Alliance of Neighbors, I'm always excited to drive by the new homes that are being built in the neighborhood. Again, housing is health care, but I just wanted to assure you that Director Carol Galt and Planner Palmer Stroop are doing a fantastic job working toward inclusion and being sensitive to the needs as we move forward with this plan. And the plan is a great reflection of what we have been doing and what we would like to continue to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. In no particular order, the next one I have is Cheryl Glore Goodwin. Oh, right in the front row. Awesome. Oh, okay. Well, you're going to speak on to both of these. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Commissioner Wade. Actually, I just found out the answer that they're only mailing. Oh,
For the
my name
record.
is Cheryl Gloria
Thank you.
Goodwin. I live at 1208 South 9th Street on the sunny south side of Paducah. Okay, and I just found out that they mailed these particular mailings just to the program area. But as a Southside resident, as someone that's also participated in the Southside Initiative and in some other programs that are immediate to the Southside, you know, it'd be nice if mailings go out to all of the Southside residents. Because this room probably would have been packed had that happened. And I only live 1 block over from where the line is. So I would like to see that they update and include all residents when they send out future mailings. And then I'm also here because I have the Meharry Medical College. I did go and visit down in Tennessee. I think that that is a wonderful plan that the city has. I think you all have gotten on board with the clinic coming here. I think the health care is good for everyone, and that they serve the underserved people, and it's going to be for the county as well. I think that that's a great improvement for the city. And also housing for
Can you
the,
put your mic up so everyone can hear? I think somebody can.
okay, and housing.
Or speak up just a little bit.
I hope that some of the housing is not everything. I've spoken to a few people, and they're talking 1,250 square feet and above, with some of those parcels only 40 feet wide, maybe 100 feet long. So I'm hoping that they would consider more homes that maybe are 750 square feet to 1,000 feet that would better fit the parcels that people already have, and they can go ahead and start building on them. So that's all I have to say. So just please consider having homes. Not every home should be 1,250 feet and above. You know, we have retirees, we have single people, and, you know, I see the city growing, but it takes all people. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next one is Charles Hamilton.
A little short, so I'll pull it down a little bit. My name is Charles Hamilton. I don't personally own property on that south side, but I was raised up on that south side of town. My family is connected with the Meharry project. But, and just talking, and been sitting back, just things are transforming in the city now that people are making decisions that are not necessarily invested in these different communities. And what have come to my concern, being raised up in Paducah, and some of the zoning and planning that has been come about, and I just throw this in quickly. I remember when I was a kid, the white community didn't want Stuart Nelson Park, didn't want nothing to do with it, never been in it. But then now they come back and they take it by the zoning, whatever case may be, and don't even want Stuart Nelson to have any connection with it. And I think this is somewhat may happen with the south side. The things that are being planned may not necessarily identify with the people that's going to be left in that community. I go to the 9th Street Church of Christ, and we're trying to evangelize in that area. And I think some of the things that may come about may even put hardship up on some of those folks. The south side of Paducah even revitalizing, and if anyone haven't noticed, jobs now, $24 an hour, now you're still living close to poverty. None of us, and some of you all, couldn't live on $24 an hour and maintain a home and take care of a family. So I think when these adjustments are being made, and then some of the prices that I see on some of these homes that's going to be erected in those areas, where are you going to find the people that wants to invest back into that area if they're only able to be employed and make, say, 24 hours and down? And so, but I just would like for you all and the commission to get a little bit more input directly from the community. I drove around town and I know they talked about notices. A lot of the signs that was posted and I was asked to come down, those signs had been removed. So I think maybe they was thinking they might get a little bit too much publicity. Because some of the signs, when I drove down yesterday, some of the signs I saw up Thursday and Friday wasn't there anymore. The signs I saw on the corner of my church lawn was removed. So I was thinking that maybe and I mentioned this to one of the commissioners before, we would like to stop. It's too many, the meeting before the meeting, we have some meetings before the meetings. And then so some of the people that maybe representing the community only get invited to the second meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next up, I believe I'm reading this right, James Green. Is it Green or Greer? Okay. This is a person that lives on Walter Jeton Boulevard. Okay, maybe they're not here any longer. Okay. All right, then the next one is Mary Thomas. Mary Thomas?
I live in 10th Street, right on the south side. So I don't have an address yet.
Are you Mary Thomas?
Yes, I am.
Oh, do you wish to speak?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay.
I live, it was in the first, the case that you were talking about.
Okay. All right, so you were here for the zoning thing. Okay, thank you very much for your attendance.
Thank you.
All right, next I have Vanessa Knight. Okay, were you here for the zoning part too? Okay. Thank you for being here. I'm just trying to make myself notes because there's a lot going on tonight. James O'Brien. Oh, right there. Yes, sir.
My name is James O'Brien, and I'm actually a resident of Marshall County, but I got 8 of these in the mail, so I guess I've got a vested interest in the south side. And, I'd like to say thank you to the individual who drafted this. It represents a considerable investment of time and energy in researching and I think it's commendable that the commission and the city of Paducah is undertaking a revitalization of the south side of Paducah. I think it's imperative in the growth and development of the city as a whole. I have two things that I'd like to comment on. Number one is I think it would be a good idea, if it has not already been done, to do some benchmarking to see what other communities have done. I will bring to the table the city of Tallahassee, Florida, wherein an individual by the name of Rick Kearney has developed what's called the Kearney Center. You can see it online, as well as a community called the Dwellings, wherein to address this very issue of the lower income community, has built tiny home communities there, and the goal being to provide housing at $400 a month, because there the average housing is $1,100 a month. And so his specific goal has been to address the needs of those who are not as well blessed financially. And so I suggest that's one source. Rick happens to be my brother-in-law, so I know a little bit about what's going on there. Another resource you can look at is called Pad Split. It's a nationwide effort to bring housing to lower income. They have 21,000 units across the country, and my son is doing that. So I make you aware of those, but I'm sure there's lots of other situations where communities have had this issue to deal with. Probably almost everyone in the country, and been able to pull out of it in varying ways to help the people in this community. The second issue that I wanted to speak to was the issue of developer incentives. The reason why I got 8 of these is because I have in mind to take vacant lots and turn them into residences for the community. And the question really is, in what way are you as a commission, or is the Southside group that's organized to do this, encouraging and incentivizing, and I don't mean financially, but in other means, developers to take a look and see how this would be profitable to them to get involved? Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Okay, I have looks like Jamanita Dawson. I know I'm butchering that. Miss Dawson. My apologies.
That's okay.
Thank you for being here.
That's why I go by Jay. My name is Javanta Dawson. Live at 5570 Cox Mill Road, Hopkinsville. Thank you, commissioners, for calling me up. I'm here not as a politician, not as a political person, but one that is just a plain old concerned citizen. I was born and raised on the South Side, and I just want to kind of go on record about how I feel and my circle. No matter what the final decisions are for development on the South Side, I hope that we will keep in mind our public art project. I know we're talking about development, but we would like some type of solid art or presentation that tells the story. Again, it's been mentioned earlier that, yes, there are people that are making decisions for the neighborhood that never even came to the neighborhood, but there have been many significant accomplishments many significant people who were still standing on their shoulders and have not only made a difference in Paducah, but the world. The world. And it would just mean so much to the people that, like I say, no matter what this development is going to end up looking like, there still would be a story that tells who we are and what we are. So I'm going to leave it at that. Just hope that you will keep that in mind when we get to that part about the public art project.
Thank you very much. All right. Next up, I have Dorothea Davis.
Hello. My name is Dorothea Davis. I live at 2856 Washington Street, but I have a property that's my childhood property at 821 South 5th. Very interested in keeping that property and being a part of the redevelopment as well. But I wanted to say thank you, Commissioner, and all of you, all of the planning committees, committee members, for allowing us to have this opportunity to talk to you. I wasn't prepared to come here tonight, let me just say that. And so when I got the message that this was happening, I was like, I need to be here, because you're talking about me. You're talking about my side of town. And it's very important to me that the preservation of the South Side is important, and the redevelopment is very important. So I appreciate the opportunity for the growth. But I also want to be sure that when people of color in particular are applying for business licenses and different things, and rezoning, redevelopment in terms of rezoning and those kinds of things, will go as easy as Mr. Parker's rezoning went. I pray that there will be opportunities for us to make sure that redevelopment happens for all people, and not just for people who come in and own the property and lease to the people there in the neighborhood. We want people in the neighborhood to be homeowners, to be business owners. We want it to reflect what it used to reflect. You all don't know a lot about Potts Grocery Store and different things that I got to experience on that side of town when I was a kid. And I'm 57 years old, so that's a long time ago. But I knew that neighborhood. I know that area. I know this area like the back of my hand. And I just want to make sure that you know that as I'm the president of the Paducah Diversity Advocacy Board, and I am so much my emotions are high about this, because it does affect me personally, but it also affects so many people in our community. Would you please, I'm asking, please, make sure that we are included. Make sure that we are always invited to the table to talk about the things that are going to directly affect us, our children, our grandchildren, our churches, our ability to have food. The Diversity Advocacy Board youth just passed out food at 10th Street. And if you had seen the people that came because they were hungry, the children that came because they were hungry, this side of town deserves better. And it's in your hands. You're able to help us achieve better for all people, not just one group of people. We're not asking for that. We're asking for all people. Don't tear down any more homes before you really try to help people build. Amen. Don't destroy land and parcel it off for, industry before you help people develop businesses in that area, who live in that area. Please, I'm asking that you please include us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I have Amina Watkins.
Good evening. My name's Amina Watkins. I live at 432 North 5th Street. And I'm here just to share a little bit of my feedback about the Meharry project that is getting a lot of support, and just recently support from the city, the county, both local hospitals. But I was a part of the group that helped organize the community, including our students at our local high school, 10th, 11th and 12th graders that were interested into the medical field. So we decided to take some of the community members, some of them in this room who have shared, down to Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. We had about 21 students that attended with us, and the rest adults, some community leaders that were able to join us, like Commissioner Thomas, with a total of 44 that went down there, not really knowing what to expect, but a lot of the feedback that we got from all the attendees and the participants were outstanding. I was particularly interested in the feedback from our students that went to see that there is an opportunity for them to have access to a medical college, that they didn't have to travel 2 or 5, 6 hours away. They can go from high school into, WKCTC, that would have a direct pathway into a medical college that's going to be in their backyard, particularly and hopefully the South Side. So that feedback from the students that went, they were able to go and come back with a mentor from graduates and future graduates of Meharry Medical College. So there is opportunities with having that project here on the South Side in Paducah that would benefit our community. It would benefit our students, our youth that are here to see themselves in a field that they would have to, travel and be far away from home to be able to come back and have the education that they're looking for, that they can come back to our community and have accessibility to the healthcare that Mike Muscarella was able to, share a little bit of what is needed on the South Side. We can have that. So when you hear the Meharry project, just know that there are community members, there are students that look forward to that project, and it would help some of the needs for accessibility to healthcare for the South Side. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, I have Rhonda Smith.
Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you for this time. I come to you as president of the Paducah Historical Preservation Group.
Could you identify yourself, name and address?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Rhonda McCory Smith, and I live at 90 Buffalo Road, New Concord, Kentucky, Callaway County, but I am born, raised, bred, and still breathe here in Paducah. I spend 4 out of 5 days here a week. But our mission is preservation. Southside is near and dear to us. As Ms. Dawson spoke earlier about the art project, it's critical to the recognition of the people that have lived there, and we know things are changing. It's called a revitalization. But we want to make sure that what we can preserve is preserved. Back in October, Mr. Tom Barnett was introducing himself through the Southside Initiative, and he spoke of a designation of the Cobb Park area to be a historical zone. And I raised the question for the Jeton and Upper Town to be designated as well, and the conversation was kind of, well, you have to have significant buildings. We have them. We have them on our south side, which is Upper Town and Jeton. And in that, I'm talking about right now, Burke's Chapel Church is going through a $750,000 renovation. You have Commissioner Henderson's church that was started by an enslaved person. You have the significance of the McCracken County Courthouse, the Jeton School, the Hotel Metropolitan, the house at 9th and Jackson, which was a black Dr. Polk, who was from Meharry, and we have traced back that every one that we could think of, except for one, went to Meharry. And so with that, we have the history, and we want it preserved, just like you did Lower Town and you plan to do for Cobb. But we need that designation for those areas, and I had told Mr. Barnett, I don't know what the status is with that I am a governing member of the Kentucky Historical Society, so I can help with that. But thank you all for giving us the opportunity to speak, but please make sure we're represented in all conversations. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Miss Betty Dobson. I saw her come in. There she is.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Good evening, citizens. I'm grateful to be here this evening, and Ms. Smith kind of spoke on what I wanted to talk about.
Sorry to interrupt you. Would you?
Betty Dobson.
Thank you.
I live at 921 Oscar Cross Avenue here in Paducah. I work with the Hotel Metropolitan, and some of you may not know this, but it is one of the last Green Book stops in the country that has not been repurposed. And for that reason, that whole community, I think Ms. Steve kind of decided to come to the South Side area because it had something to offer. There was a black community there that was called Bronzeville. I don't know if you all know that. I don't know if you know that the man who discovered Louis Armstrong, Fate Marable, lived on the South Side. The man that made him famous, Boyd Atkins, lived on the South Side. What I'm trying to say to you, the South Side has a lot of historical significance, especially when you look at his African American history. And when you all are looking to change and incorporate change, please remember that this area was a mecca for people in other communities. They came to Paducah because Paducah was relevant, had something to offer. Even West Kentucky, even though it's not on the South Side, West Kentucky was looked at as the best schooling that you could get for your child if you were black. So I'm saying, when you are moving forward and developing and building new houses, please let those houses be of quality. I remember, and maybe some of you all remember, Urban Renewal. Y'all remember that? I remember going to my cousin's house and her floor falling through. You know, it was not a well-built home. So if those endeavors are going to happen, please let them be of quality so they can last and people could be happy and proud of what they have. And also remember, there's some older folks on the South Side. Not me, y'all. But there's older people on the South Side, and I hope that that consideration will be included in your decisions. And like most people have said, just include us. I don't know what better way you could do that, but include us, please. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I believe I have gone through all that I have. Is there anyone else? If you'll, that has not signed in, but.
I haven't signed it.
Okay, well, we're gonna We want people to be heard, so come right up here to the podium and please introduce yourself with your name and address.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening, fellow citizens. My name is Audrey Lee. I think a lot of you know me. Please ignore the letters I have on. I'm speaking on my behalf, not in representing my sorority. I live at 1527 North 13th Street. I was asked to come down here for another meeting, and I stumbled on this meeting. So I didn't have anything prepared to say. I didn't know what the agenda was. But I just want to say that I grew up on the south side. I am south side. I started down here on, right across from the courthouse on Clark Street. I can trace myself from kindergarten to Clark Street, walking to Southside School up here on Caldwell Street. Across the street from Mrs. Miles' grocery store, where we all know we went to Mrs. Miles. You got that dill pickle out of the jar with that fork that you had, and you got the Jackson cookies. Everybody knows that, okay? And then we went from there, we went to Lincoln Court, which was torn down, and my friends would come home and said, "Oh, Lord, it looks like an atomic bomb went off. I don't recognize Paducah," because Lincoln was gone. But I lived in Lincoln Court, right across the street from Rosary Chapel. Then we moved to South 8th Street. I grew up across from the Marable Home, right across from Metropolitan Hotel. I played with Clarence Big House Gaines kids over there every week. But I enjoyed growing up on the south side. I just wanted to get up here because I hadn't read the plan, but I don't know what you do. But I'm like everyone else that said, include us. I want my south side to be as vibrant as the south side that I grew up with. I have excellent memories. I want people to be able to afford their homes. I want people to be able to fix their houses up and to stay on South Side, because people who lived on South Side and grew there, we love South Side. I want to be included, and that was a mixed neighborhood. I try to tell people all the time that Paducah didn't have to go through all the things that other people had to go to include people in school and in housing. It was black and white. In our neighborhoods, I spent the night in white kids' houses and stuff. We all lived together. We all worked together. I grew up across the street from Miss Driver's grocery store. I went to physical therapy the other day and found out his son, we knew each other because he lived there, and he said, grew up above there at Driver's store. And I said, Mr. Sid's store? And there was Jack Dismore grocery store in the other corner. There was the People's Pharmacy, the People's. There was grocery stores over there. I remember Dr. Polk took care of all of us. I remember Southside, and I know my time's getting short. Whatever you do, make sure we're included, and I want it to be affordable for all of us to be able to, that love Southside, to be a part of it. And I know someone spoke about the art, and I don't know what they're doing about the art, but we want something to commemorate us, that we're represented. But I want the housing. You know, my aunts still have houses on the south side. I want them to be able to, my elderly aunts to be able to afford the houses that they have, because they want that to go to generations, so that when we come home, we have a place to stay. Okay, so just include us.
Thank you very much. Okay, I believe you raised your hand.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Bryant, Commission. I'm a property owner on the corner of 10th and Husbands. My mom is a property owner on the corner of 12th and Jones. My sister, Camille, is a property owner on 7th Street, a few blocks over. And like Cheryl, her house is not included. The South Side is not only just a little section. We're all South Side. And like Dorothea commented on, we need a grocery store. We need food and access for our community. Now, I live in California. I've been there for about 35 years, but I make it my business to come home every year. And Paducah has always been a mecca for black people. Before there was Juneteenth, there was 8th of August. And Paducah was a mecca for black people for 8th of August since way back, since before when I can remember. Now, my family is one of the legacy families. We have been on the south side for how long, Camille? No, longer than that. Okay, no, our family goes back, my grandma Jane was a slave in Paducah. Okay, so we go back that far on the south side. And I'm like everyone else, our history needs to be preserved. My mother's house is falling apart. We need help on that. My sister needs help on her house and her property, but she's not included. She's over the line. But like I said, South Side was all the South Side, from Dismore's to Miss Miles to Drivers. I remember Drivers. We used to live on South 9th Street. We hit that alley and go to Drivers, okay? We go to church and go to Miss Miles. Please.
No, you're good.
No. I'm good because I don't have too much more else to say. I just want to ask you to please remember to include us, because those of us that live away, we want to come back home, but we want to be able to afford to come back home. And we do have a lot. We want to come back home because we have a lot to offer our community, and we want it to be there when we come back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone else?
I didn't know everyone was speaking from the heart. This is Cheryl Gore Goodwin again, and I am a Southside resident. My home is 1208 South 9th Street, 1 block over from the phase, y'all calling it Phase 1. It's actually Phase 2. My husband and I moved back here to live in my father's home, which he built in 1957. I am a 4th generation Paducahian. My son has just moved here. He's going to be a 5th generation Paducahian. I can trace my family roots back to 1854. So I know Paducah and I know the South Side. And when I say that where they're saying that we need to, I may have had it nice and able to redo my family home, but there are people right in eyesight distance that need some help. And I like to speak up for my neighbors, because I really think that Tom, and I was on the Southside Initiative, missed just a 2-block radius, about 15 parcels of homes that would just, enhance the city so much. So I would like to at least readdress, or at least have it come to the commission, that maybe where people aren't taking advantage of the initiatives, that those homes, just like she just stated, that is in need of dire repair, that you can consider opening that line up to help somebody. But people ask me, why did you move back to Paducah? I always knew I was going to move back to Paducah because my father built a strong home. And it's standing straight across the street from Big House Gaines, who was his friend, who used to visit our home all the time. And, it's a lot of great memories, but, there is work to be done. And I know that I've been out there hitting the ground and trying to do it for people, but, yes, I'm a Southside resident, and I love Paducah.
Anyone else who hasn't already spoken? Come approach the microphone if you would identify yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Gartley. I reside at 2635 Tennessee Street here in Paducah, Kentucky. I've lived there for 11 years. I've been here 18 years. I'm from the south side of Chicago. And I want to let you know, as an outsider who has made Paducah her home and has been welcomed by the residents of Paducah, you can see a difference in the city. And I know I can tell that it's a lot of love here in this city, but just looking in from the outside, looking in, is it purposely neglected? Because it looks like it. But I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just communicating my thoughts, because I've just been watching for 18 years. I don't got no roots here. I came here because the school said, yeah, come get educated here. And I was like, yes.
Then the company said, do an internship, and I did it. Then the job said, we'll hire you, and I got that. And I grew my children up here, and they're great and college educated and graduated, etc. But you can tell the difference in the communities. And once I found out that this was happening, I was like, I go to church on the south side, I think. I'm still learning the sides. And I was like, man, why do it look like this over here? But when you go to other parts, it looked different. And people got good jobs over here, and everybody pay taxes. And I'm like, I'm just a silly girl, I don't know nothing. So I came here to be educated and to learn. I'm gonna be timely moving forward. But I'm grateful that you all opened the floor for people to communicate and share things. And I just wanted to share what I see looking into Paducah. Someone said, why you don't celebrate the 8th of August? You black? Well, I ain't from here. I ain't got no family here. You see? So when you're not from here, you feel differently. But people come here because it's a good place. It's a wonderful community. But if everybody can put their thinking caps on and be rational, I think it's going to be so much better. So thank you for your time today. Have a great evening.
Thank you. I will say that I think I can speak to everybody here. We all love Paducah. I've lived here all my life, and I know that that goes along. But is there anyone who wishes to speak regarding the Southside redevelopment plan? Please come forward. And we've got two, so come on up and we'll have a bullpen and ready for you to go as well.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity for me to speak. I'm Shalon Hollowell Jeter, and I live in Lonoke on Charlotte Ann Drive. I have property on the south side, and my brother and myself and my husband, we have a property management. My husband and I have Boss Management Development LLC, a business, and what we do is we renovate houses. And we're getting ready to embark on building. It's what we want to do. My brother is Don Hollowell, and he is in construction as well. He lays concrete. He knows how to build. I come from a family that are construction workers. I have cousins in California. I've told them about what's going on down here. They're wanting to come and help me out. My brother and myself, have been to the city planning board, some of the members, I don't know, not the commissioners, but some of the planning members, I guess what you call it. Anyways, people that work in planning and zoning, yes, the staff. So we've pitched a plan for redeveloping and basically trying to improve the aesthetics of 5th Street and 4th Street. We own several lots there. And this was maybe 3 months ago or something like that. And we were last told to wait to hear from the city. We can get a loan, so we are not stragglers. We can get the money, but it doesn't make sense for us to build or develop anything on South Side. Because what I'm hearing is everybody's saying we needing affordable housing. I'm also a licensed real estate agent. And they're right, because for affordable housing to be built on South Side right now, it's not going to make sense for a developer. Affordable housing to some of these people, what I'm hearing, it could be $150,000, $175,000, maybe $190,000 at the most. It's going to take just about that much to build the house. Material is expensive. Labor is expensive, and nobody works for free. So I am speaking on behalf of the developers, and I had one developer here to speak as well, but I thought I better speak too, because I don't want somebody in the audience to say, oh, that was just that white guy. No, we got some black folks too that wants to develop as well. But we don't see the money. And in order for us to jump in this and develop, the money's got to be there, because we don't work for free. I think slave days is over, right? That's right. So we don't work for free, and I know y'all understand what I'm saying. So I am urging, and Paducah has been good to me. I've been here since '96. I'm from Hoptown, and Hopkinsville, Kentucky is booming. They're building, they are changing some of those distressed neighborhoods and making them great. The same thing can happen here, but it has to make sense. It has to make sense. It does make sense to help the local home buyer that wants to buy and give them incentives. But it also has to make sense for the developer to sink their personal money into Southside and make some money on it. So again, my name is Shalon Jeter, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Helen Patterson. I live at 2065 Steve Drive. My husband and I own a house on Tennessee Street. And we was kind of excited when we got a card in the mail because the house needs some repair. And I called the city hall. I talked to a lady here. And she was saying, I said, well, is a loan available? And she said, oh, no, it's a grant. And so when I came to get the papers, it says 20%. And I'm not for sure who make up those figures, because some people cannot afford that, even though they have some repairs done on their house, they can't, if you make it 50%, I think you get more people that is able to afford this. And I don't know who make up these percentage, but consider the people that with low income. I'm sure that you all are trying to help people and not trying to make money off of people, because there are people that cannot afford all these repairs. And so consider a higher percentage, that they have to pay, because, the money's there, and you're just making it so hard for people that want to improve their home. So just consider a different percentage that you can help people. And that's what we're supposed to be all about, helping and not trying to make money off of people. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yes, sir.
My name is Jeffrey Allen, and you all probably don't remember me, but you know my mom, Ada Allen, and my brother Bill. Everyone knew him. Listen, I was born in Lincoln Court, apartment 24. Dr. Davis, a black doctor, delivered me, 1956. My mom came here in the late 40s from a place called Water Valley, Mississippi, with an 8th grade education, because that's all they would let her get down there. And she worked here. She was, in the movie The Help, my mom was the help. She kept going. She finally landed a job at Union Carbide, cleaning. She worked out there through Martin Marietta and whatever else they called it. She retired, and with an 8th grade education, and she kept telling me, you can do this, you can do this. She said, she fooled me. She told me that, hey, you got to go to school or you go to jail. And I never knew the difference until I moved to Germantown, Tennessee, and we have adopted schools. And the kids were dropping out of school, and I asked the kid there in Memphis, I said, how can y'all drop out of school? And he said, well, we just leave. I said, don't you go to jail? He said, man, where are you from? I said, Paducah. I come home, and she told me, she just laughed. She said, well, I really never told you you'd go to jail. But I want to thank you all for what you're doing. I thank you for I got 2 of these because I've got 2 properties here. And I live in Germantown, and I live in a community where houses are $400,000 and $500,000 to $1 million. But I've never forgotten Paducah. My last daughter was born, and thanks to the Easter Seal Center out here, I grew up with the telethon. We all did. They told me, they said, your daughter would probably have Down syndrome. Well, her mom cried. And I said, okay. And the guy said, it doesn't worry you? I said, no. If she does, that's God's will, and I'll deal with that. But I had experience with kids because of Paducah. And I hope that's all still going on. I don't come home as often. But since all this is going on, I will. You all someone fixed the Marble Street side over there off of Clark Street where my mom, she bought a home. She bought a home here. She gave $15,000 for it. It's 1013 Clark Street. We still own it. My nephew wants to live in it. That's one reason I'm here today too. It's helping him trying to get it together. But you all put the marble things back down on the streets out there. Somebody did. I don't know who did it. I didn't do it, but it looks great. Jatan listen, I am thrilled with Jatan School still being there. I mean, it's not a school, but it's there. We need to do everything we can. Please continue to do everything we can. I don't want to see anyone get left out. Please continue to give me the information. I thought I came to Fathers. You said California, you got me there. I drove 3.5 hours this morning. I'm not a happy camper, but I'm glad now that I got here and that this is going on. And I want you all to continue and please work with people that are here to help this community, because the South Side is the place. Oscar Cross, Mr. Orinda. I could go on and on with all those great people that help. And so please continue to do it.
Thank you very much. All right, as we wind this down, is there anyone else that has not already spoken that wishes to speak? All right, I'll take that opportunity to ask Commissioner Benberry to read the motion to close this hearing.
I move that the Paducah Planning Commission closes the public hearing for the Southside redevelopment plan.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Summers, would you call the roll on that motion?
Commissioner Benberry?
Aye.
Commissioner Griffin?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Chairman Wade?
Aye. All right, since we are a combined Paducah Planning Commission and URCDA, I believe that Commissioner Kaler has a motion to open a public hearing for URCDA.
I move that the URCDA open the public hearing for the Southside redevelopment plan.
Should we have had Commissioner Griffiths read his URCDA motion first?
Not yet.
Okay.
He's next.
Thank you. Is there a second to Commissioner Kaler's motion?
Second.
Seconded. To open the public hearing, Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry?
Aye.
Commissioner Griffin?
Aye.
Chairman Wade?
Aye. I apologize for our legalese here, but we are now in public hearing for the URCDA, which will have a great deal of impact. What you've said here will also go into the record for the URCDA, for both the Planning Commission and the URCDA. Is there any discussions? All right, hearing none. I have Commissioner Griffith with the closing of the public
With
hearing.
the adoption of the.
Oh, we need to open that first?
No, just, all you need to do is make the motion incorporating everything everyone said into this hearing as well.
All right.
So I think you have that motion.
Okay. I move the URCDA to incorporate by reference as if set out in full all comments, testimony, documents, or evidence presented at the Southside Revitalization Plan hearing before the Paducah Planning Commission, such that each does not have to be repeated at this hearing of the URCDA.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? I would hope not. Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Griffin?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry?
Aye.
Chairman Wade?
Aye. Now I believe Commissioner Rhodes has the URCDA public hearing.
I move that URCDA close the public hearing for the Southside redevelopment plan.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All right, Mr. Summers, would you call the roll on that?
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry?
Aye.
Commissioner Griffin?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Chairman Wade?
Aye. Thank you all very much for being here tonight. The input that you've given us means so much. I would ask, just for your education on this, for Mr. Summers to describe what happens next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So
Thank you all for all of your comments tonight. We have literally the entire staff of the planning department here tonight to go through your comments, through your comment cards, and we're going to review the tape of all the comments that were made. The next step will be on July the 7th at 5:30 in this room for the recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. The Planning Commission and URCDA can vote to forward a favorable recommendation, forward a recommendation of denial, or they can table that for more information. But hopefully with the trajectory that we are on, we will be making a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners July 7th at 5:30.
For this group to meet again and do that, and then the Board of Commissioners will meet at some future date to adopt the plan for the city.
Yes, sir. The Board of Commissioners meets the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. I don't have that exact date, but it will be posted on the website, on the City of Paducah website when that will be heard.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second? Second, moved and seconded for the adjournment, Commissioner, or for, I keep trying to promote you. Mr. Summers, would you call the roll on that?
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry? Aye. Commissioner Griffin?
Aye.
Chairman Wade?
Aye. We are adjourned at 6:51.
It went good. It really went good.
It did.
That really, that was
I do
a lot of.
appreciate your.